I am so excited. I am here with the fabulous co-author, one of my co-authors, Terry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. This is just so exciting to be engaged with my Bliss sisters as we embark on this amazing adventure of doing a compilation book. I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah, me too. And I have to say, I didn't know you very well when we went on this cruise last year together. And then the more I got to know you, I was like, wow, this lady is so powerful. And would you tell us, for people who don't know you, a little bit about you and your story?
Sure, I would be happy to. I just recently had a health scare, which is not in my chapter because it happened after I wrote it, but it would have been in my chapter because it was a definite change in my life that I had to learn to navigate. And in the hospital on my back, I turned 79 years old on my birthday. So that's part of my story is that as I've gone through changes in my life, losing my husband, uh, changing careers, finding out that I didn't really accept and love myself. And then at 74, deciding that I wanted to go into municipal government. And so I ran for city council and I got on city council in my city. And then at 78, I became the mayor of my city. So that's just to me, my biggest message is that change is an opportunity. Yes, it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to serve, and it's an opportunity to just stretch yourself out of your comfort zone and recognize your value. At 78, I'm the first woman mayor of my community, and it's 70,000 people, so it's a smaller rural community in California, and I'm just loving it. It's just such an opportunity to grow and to serve, and to one of the most fun parts is I get invited frequently to talk to youth, and I've read to kindergarten classes. I've talked about homelessness to high school honor students. I've had so many opportunities to have within my sphere of influence the youth. And as a retired kindergarten teacher and administrator, to me, that's just food to my soul to be able to work with the youth and show them the potential. I mean, I've lived the life, so I can show them age is not a limit to anything, and challenges and obstacles in your life do not limit you to where you can go. So that's kind of the crux of my chapter as I go through several of my experiences and talk about how courage and collaboration and compassion and communication help us to navigate change because change happens.
Wow, Terry. You ran for mayor when you were 78.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Okay. Now tell us about, why did you want to be in this book?
Well, just like I didn't know you very well, I knew you a little bit because we're in some common organizations. But I think there were 30 of us that were on this cruise. My daughter, who's my business partner, was there as well. And I just fell in love with these ladies. Very diverse group of ladies. I mean, super diverse in age, in ethnicity, in just all kinds of ways. Personalities, the values, the passions, the purpose. And it was just amazing to me to be in that small of a group and yet to have that kind of diversity, that kind of exposure to so many ideas, so many thought provoking opportunities to think about and reflect on my own, values and insights. And so when the opportunity came up to gather together the women who wanted to, out of that group, of 30, 10 of us decided to write a book. And I couldn't say yes fast enough because I knew it would be a powerful resource to women and to others as well. And I just wanted to add that experience into my repertoire of wonderful opportunities that I've had in my lifetime. So I was very excited to do that, and I felt like I had a story to tell, and that it might be able to influence other women not to give in to doubt, not to give in to grief, not to give in to rejection or change, and to see that there's always a way to regroup, pivot, whatever you want to call it. There's all kinds of words for it. And just keep going. And each time you do that, your life is enriched and you have an opportunity to have more empathy and understanding to help others find the richness in their lives, which is really my purpose. And that was it was just like a no-brainer. Yeah, of course you want to do this. You want to expand your relationship with these amazing women and work together in synchronicity to take our messages out to the world, so to the whole planet. So that's what that was my
Wow. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, Terry, I have to tell you, I have a birthday coming up, 56, and
Mm.
every once in a while I have that anxiety of like I'm running out of time or I'm gonna be too old to do blah 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 blah. And then I think of you and I just kind of take a deep breath
Yeah.
because since I've known you, I've seen you on stage singing and dancing. I've seen you sharing your amazing, powerful story about dealing with grief and loss. I've seen you in the hospital, coming out of the hospital. I mean, I've just seen you this whole spectrum of things. I've seen you lead coalitions against homelessness in your town, and you just turned 79. I think sometimes there's that anxiousness of like, oh God, and it's like, so you're just a powerful example for so many of us,
Oh,
Terry.
thank you. Mentioning being in the hospital, I was telling Elaine that if I could, I would add another story to my chapter because I just went through a very near death experience in the hospital. Well, before I got to the hospital, I went into septic shock and had sepsis throughout my whole body. And so I didn't think I was going to die, but the doctor told me I almost did. So I believed him. But what I was able to access those same qualities that I've accessed every time in my life to move forward. So I've had this opportunity to learn. Yeah, when you have a life-threatening experience with your health, you could just really get down. And at 79, I'm thinking, well, am I ever going to come back? Will I be back to the same level of energy? Will I have the same stamina? Will my mind work as well? And yet I just was telling her that I've had to utilize courage just to say, look, you're going to be fine. It's going to take you some time, but you're going to be fine. And then collaboration, because I'll tell you, this community that we're in, those of us that have written this book together, what support. I mean, what support that I received from them, and then just compassion from so many people, and then commitment, that I'm committed to keep doing the work that I feel I was meant to do. So that's continue to work with the homeless in my community, being a leader in my community, and then serving my fellow man, which is part of why I wrote this chapter for this book. Yeah.
Yay, Terry. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your chapter?
I'm not supposed to give it away because I had
Okay.
well, I mean, I'm just going to tell you this funny thing because I told Seema, who's our publisher, the person that's helped us to do the book, who's also was on the cruise with us. Couldn't I put this in the title? And she said, "Oh no, you don't want to give everything away." So, but what I talk about is 4 different instances or experiences, challenges, opportunities in my lifetime where I had to access what I call the 4 C's, and that's what I use is how did I use courage? How did I use collaboration? How did I use commitment and compassion in order to navigate these changes? Some were related to, something I had no control over, and some were things I had control over. So that's what my chapter is about. So I go through these experiences that I had, the death of my husband, the loss of a job, different experiences that I have had that I can now look back on and see the blessing that was hidden in that experience that helped me to grow as an individual, in turn helped me to influence my children. I have 5 children, 21 grandchildren, 5 soon to be 6 great grandchildren.
Oh my God.
So, I have a sphere of influence within my family, being the matriarch of my family, that allows me to demonstrate these qualities that have helped me to navigate the change in my life. Because my oldest grandchild is 34 years old. So he's gone through some real experiences, and they've watched me do that. And that to me is really important. And that's why I want other people to know they can do anything if they access those qualities in their life, and then show other people how to do that.
I love it, Terry. I love it. Well, I can't wait to read your chapter. I'm so excited. Every time I get to hear you speak, I love it. I would love to know, what is one thing you've learned so far from the book launch?
See, this is one thing where I have to have courage. Being at my age, I grew up typing on a manual typewriter, correct?
Me too. Me too.
The first computer that I saw filled a room as big as an auditorium. I mean, I saw it at MIT. It was one of the first computers and it filled a whole room. And
Wow.
my very first experience with a computer was a Texas Instrument little computer that you could maybe do word processing on. And then from there, I've learned a lot, but I still have some trepidation around social media, around, technology. And so I've learned one of these things I talk about in my book is collaboration. And the rest of the authors have been so kind to me and helping me. This is how you get this on this platform. This is how you can do this. And this is so I'm prepared for the launch on March 6th. And I'm going to have my daughter, who's very techie, sitting right next to me. So
Yay. Well,
asking for help was always hard for me to do, and this is something I learned too. I talk about in my chapter because I'm a recovering perfectionist. Perfectionists do not ask for help. It's
yeah.
toxic. It's a toxic addiction, perfection. And
Yeah.
so I've asked Kelly to sit with me because I have to do a lot of things on the computer, and put out messages and encourage people to buy our book so we can be an international bestseller. And I don't want to be the cog in the wheel that isn't doing it. So I've asked her to.
Wow. No, well, I know Sima was saying how you were just on top of your edits and you're a source of inspiration for many of us, Terry. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I'm so glad that you made it through your latest
Yeah, me too.
opportunity for growth.
Me too.
And here's to many more blissful retreats and cruises, and
Yes,
who
yes.
knows what's going to come from this book. So, all right, Terry,
So
love
much,
you.
so much. Love you.